West Hobbies RC. So today we are back with the maiden flight of the SAB 580 Raw. So as you see, we had a 4-part build series. We have built the entire helicopter, and now it is time for the maiden flight of it. So as you've seen before, 6S setup, X-Nova motor, torque servos, pulse battery, Icon Bluetooth flybarless unit, torque servos on cyclic, torque servo on tail. We're running the stock Raw 580 SAB main blades and tail blades. We are flying on 2 Spectrum DSMX satellites and on a Spectrum DX9 radio. My DX9 has turned into my helicopter test radio. When I build helicopters for people, I set them up on the DX9 and use it as my test radio. So we have different flight modes selected. I have normal mode is slowed way down to more of a beginner style mode, because again, this is David's helicopter. We went through, we double checked, make sure on your maiden flight, you pick the helicopter up, tilt it forward, make sure the swash plate goes backwards, tilt it backwards, make sure it goes forward, left, right, make sure it goes in the opposite direction of where the helicopter is being tilted. Of course, do your control check, make sure that you have positive pitch, negative pitch, left cyclic, right cyclic, back, forward. Make sure everything works like it should. We already went through with a pitch gauge. We have 0 degrees at mid stick. We're running 13.5 degrees of positive and negative pitch. And then tail, again, make sure is going the proper way. I've touched on this in other videos, but when you go, so you can do it 2 ways. You can put tail down, go left, go right. It will go the same way. Or another way to do it, and make sure your tail direction is going the right way. So your slider, whichever way it moves is which way it's going to push the helicopter. So if you go right stick, it is going to move left, which is going to push the nose right. If you go left stick, it's going to move right, which is going to pull the nose left. Same way to make sure your gyro direction is working properly. So if you go tilt the helicopter nose to the right, it should be going to the right side, which is going to be sucking the tail and the nose this way, and then same thing vice versa. So we have gone over pre-flight checks. We've made sure everything was tight. Radio setup is the way it should be. So now let's go ahead, take a few steps backwards on a maiden. Let's spool up and see how it does. So we're gonna flip out of normal mode here. We're going to spool up. Let her spool. And let's lift out. Very solid. This is a true maiden flight. Tail feels great so far. We have the tail rotation slowed way down. I think I'm at 200 a second or a minute. I have it, again, this is all set up for David. I have normal mode and idle up mode set up for you, David. Idle up 2 is for me. So when we go to events or whenever you let me fly this helicopter, I have a me mode. But everything so far is good. Cyclic feels great, no wobbles, no bobbles. Tail seems great right off bat. Let's kick it up into higher head speed. Idle up 1. We got to adjust the tail a little bit. We got a little bit of cyclic or walk out. Checking to just make sure everything is good. Oh, we have one canopy that did not lock into place. I seen the canopy bouncing around. So let's go ahead and land. I mean, look at that. Thing is solid. We got a little bit of tail walk. So we're gonna do a little bit of adjustment. All right, so let's do some adjusting real quick. I thought I seen the canopy moving and it did not lock. So let's just set it over here for a second to where we're on a little bit solid ground. See, the canopy did not lock into place, which that is not good. There we go, it locked. You can tell by where the pin is. So pull on your canopy and make sure it's locked into place. Just go over everything real quick. Everything looks good. We have no flashing lights on the satellite. So everything looks like it should. Let's go ahead and let's find a not so tall piece of grass to set it down in. Like here. All right, we're gonna have to go in the icon to adjust that little bit, but we can take it out now. Let's go into tail gain real quick. Let's drop normal mode a little bit because we had a slight walk out. All right, let's flip off idle mode or hold mode. Let's spool up. We have super soft start. Okay, kick it up into a higher head speed. Okay, we got a little bit of tail walk. That's why we fly to tune. This thing flies so good. We just got to do a little bit of tail adjusting. We got a 5-minute timer set. I highly doubt that we're going to use the 5,000 in 5 minutes, but let's kick it up into a little higher head speed. Power is crazy. All right, let's set it down. This thing flies so good. Oh man, I need to build me a raw now. Power is incredible. It's so light, nimble on the sticks, so solid. That is a solid helicopter. Don't do that though. We gotta do a little bit of adjusting on the tail, which is okay. That is normal. We have to tune. Wow, the Goblin Raw 580 maiden flight video. So we're gonna do a little bit more tuning on it. We have to go over everything, of course, after a maiden flight. Double check everything. Make sure all your screws are still tight. Like, we need to tighten up the tail blades a little bit. They were loose when they were tight when we took off, and this one's a little loose, so we need to double check that. Make sure your belt is where it's supposed to go. Make sure there's nothing being eaten or the belt's not tore up. Check and make sure all your servos are not hot. Make sure nothing was binding, everything's still secured. Go through, check it all, check your links. do an after flight, which you should always do a pre-flight and a after flight of your helicopters, just quick over. But after a maiden flight, always go through them. Go through them, make sure everything is tight. I mean, this was in a million pieces, it's together. But I will say I am extremely pleased. This helicopter flies incredible. Honestly, I love this helicopter already. One flight on it, and I mean, if I wasn't flying it crazy because it's not my helicopter, just a little bit with it, but this thing is awesome. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this build series. Hopefully soon I can build me my own raw 580 or 700. I really like the 580 though. This is definitely on my list to build. I would love to build my own. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this build series. It helped you out. David, thank you so much for letting me build this and fly this thing. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe, take care, and have a great day. Go ahead and end the maiden flight video off there, but after watching the footage, I was not happy with it was cloudy out that day. The camera got dark lots of times. The helicopter was really hard to see. I'm gonna do my best with zooming in and trying to make the footage a little better, but I decided I needed to do some tail gain adjustments anyways, or some tail adjustments. So I would just fly again and splice the video in, so at least you guys have a good, bright, sunny day video. So everything's the same. Only thing we did was just played with the tail and the icon as we were going more positive or negative, hard on the collective. The tail wanted to walk a little bit. So we just decided to fix that real quick, and we're gonna spool up and do it again. So completely stock Goblin build, stock the way we had it done the first time. Spool up into normal mode. Do some regular big old flying. Tail's good, it needs a little bit more adjustment. So I love the colors, the bright colors on this thing. At first I didn't like the orange on one side and green on the other. I wasn't a big fan, but I like it. Again, we're on a idle up 1, medium head speed. Bug flying in my ear. Kick it up into a higher head speed. A little bit more tail adjustment. thing is so much fun to fly. We're gonna have to play with cyclic gains a little bit. We're getting a little bit of cyclic walk, but it's all right. We can play with all that. A little bit more tuning. That's what these flights are for. I do have permission from David, who owns this helicopter, to fly it the way I'm flying it. There you guys go. SAB Goblin Raw 580. Such an incredible helicopter. Really such an incredible helicopter. Absolutely love this thing. It just feels like an extension of my fingertips. I mean, it is crazy how good this thing flies. It has become honestly my new favorite helicopter by far, and I have to have one. Like, I have to have this helicopter. There's no doubt about it. I have to have one. So this is definitely on the build list soon. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the build series. The Maiden flight video, I'm sorry that the Maiden flight wasn't the best video quality. I couldn't help it. I didn't realize till after I already filmed it and watched it back. So hopefully this makes up for it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and have a great day.